Hi and Assalamualaikum. We are from Good 20 and today we will present about intermittent fasting.
Assalamualaikum. Hi. Today I'll be giving the history about intermittent fasting. Fasting is an ancient tradition having been practiced by many cultures and religions over the centuries. Intermittent fasting, however, is a period in which you cycle between fasting and eating. This form of fasting began to take popularity in the early 2000s and was seen as much better option than the full starvation fasting methods of the early 1800s. It has been investigated since at least 1915, with a renewed interest in the medical community in the 1960s after Bloom and his colleagues published an enthusiastic report about therapeutic intermittent fast for the treatment of obesity.
So, the definition of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a dietary approach that involves alternating periods of fasting and eating. The most common method involves fasting for a specific window of time, typically between 12 and 16 hours, or even 8 to 12 hours. This approach can help regulate calorie intake and promote various health benefits, such as weight loss, improve insulin insensitivity, and increase autophagy.
Concept of diet for protein. For the low protein, it's recommended for the people with certain medical conditions such as kidney disease or liver disease. A low protein diet typically includes fruits, vegetables, grains, and healthy fats. For the high protein diet, it can encourage weight loss by increasing energy expenditure, promoting satisfaction, and improving body composition. One study suggested a high protein diet that increased protein intake between 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilograms of body weight can be used to reduce body weight and preserve muscle mass.
Intermittent fasting refers to the dietary pattern that construct with the typical eating habit of the most American who consume food throughout their working hours. According to the research, after several hours of not eating, the body exhausts in the sugar stock and start burning fat, process known as metabolic switching. I understand the process of the burning fat usually intending after around 12 hours of the fasting and intensive between duration of 16 hours to 24 hours of fasting.
Intermittent fasting focus on when to eat instead of what to eat. They can only consume calorie-free foods and drinks during the fast period. Some of the options are a low-carb diet or a balanced diet depending on their goals. Low carb aims to lower blood sugar and burn fat by limiting carbs and induce ketosis. There is a scientific evidence to prove that a low-carb intermittent fasting plan boosts the metabolic process and increases ketone production in the liver. While for balanced diet, they can consume every group of macronutrient in a good portion control during their eating phase. This is an effective way to lose fat in the long term and improve metabolic health.
Do you know on how to practice intermittent fasting? As you can see from the slide, there are 3 popular approaches to this type of diet that includes alternate day fasting, 5-2 fasting, and daily time restricted fasting. If you want to undertake 5-2 fasting, you should eat regularly every day of the week except Tuesday and Thursday, which are 1 meal days, whereas if people are working on daily time restricted fasting, they can try 16/8 fasting, which involve eating for 8 hours and fasting for 16.
I will continue to the next part, which is the do's and the don'ts of intermittent fasting diet. So the first dose is to plan your fasting correctly. IF is technically not about restricting what you eat, but about when you eat. The second one is to ease into fasting. Let your body adapt to new eating pattern and start slowly. A drastic change in diet can cause various side effects. And the third one for do is to drink plenty of water. You must stay hydrated while fasting. There are numerous benefits of drinking water, and especially during fasting hours. Now, for don'ts is, don't change your intermittent fasting schedule. This is because consistency is the key for IF. Sticking to the same fasting window each day will help to better incorporate IF in your life. Next is don't push yourself too hard. IF can be challenging at times. However, learn to listen to your body and know when to take a break. And last but not least, don't forget to ask questions and improve your IF lifestyle. It's important to stay curious and improve day by day.
Next is the practice of the diet. What type of food you should consume during IF? You should take adequate amount of protein in your diet as this will help you to preserve and also build muscle during IF. An example of these are fish, beans, and meats. Next is fruit and vegetables. Consuming fruit and vegetables such as avocado, broccoli, and banana respectively during IF is a good way to ensure that you are getting a variety nutrients. The food to avoid during IF is you should avoid any food with higher sugar such as soda, cupcake, candy, and snacks that higher in sugar but lower in nutrients.
And I would like to present about supporting scientific evidence that is effective. Firstly, intermittent fasting can improve blood sugar control, can lower insulin levels, and significantly improve insulin sensitivity, as well as significantly lower blood pressure. According to Harvard Medical School, after 5 weeks, they had dramatically lower insulin levels and significantly improved insulin sensitivity, as well as significantly lower blood pressure. Next is intermittent fasting can help with weight loss. Weight loss of between 3 to 7% body weight in an average of 8 weeks was achievable through intermittent fasting. According from Medical News Today, studies of alternate day fasting trials of 3 to 12 weeks is effective at reducing body weight, which is 3% to 7%.
Intermittent fasting has shown promising effects on cardiovascular health. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2019 found that intermittent fasting was associated with a lower risk of coronary artery disease in individuals at high risk for cardiovascular disease. And also, the study suggested that intermittent fasting may improve the blood pressure, lipid profile, and also the inflammation markers. And the last one is brain health. Emerging research indicates that intermittent fasting may have neuroprotective effects and improve the brain health. Animal studies have shown that intermittent fasting can also enhance the cognitive function and also protect against neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. However, more research is needed to fully understand the effects of intermittent fasting on human brain health.
Now, for the non-effective, which is long-term commitment. Some studies reported difficulties in maintaining the fasting regimen over time. Well, this makes it challenging for individuals to sustain the fasting schedule consistently. And the second one is metabolic rate and muscle mass. Some studies shows that alternate day fasting did not result in greater weight loss compared to daily calorie restrictions.
We have identified 3 channels from TikTok with the username of Diary Diet Aina, Tech Nis, and Miss Amber Shaw. Through TikTok, they shares their journey in weight loss through intermittent fasting, and they also shares the meals they consume in a day, workout routine, and also spread body positivity. Another platform, which is YouTube, with the name of Cynthia Thurlow. She is a nurse practitioner, intermittent fasting, and nutrition expert with 2-time Tech Talk speaker. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.